Hello everybody, Craig Greenwood here again, and another weird world we find ourselves in. Today we're going to talk about, I know I have talked about a little bit before, Bitcoin, and have talked about a bit of gold and silver and money in the banks and Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff. A little bit hard for, obviously, a lot of you to get your head around because it's a technology that's only been around for 10 years, and it's just a different way of doing money and having peer-to-peer, which means I can pay anybody some money without a third party. So you have no bank and you have no government involved and all that kind of stuff. So Bitcoin started out at $1, and that's when it first got on the market. It was $1, and it went as high as 19,000 New Zealand. It's back up to about 16, 17 now, and there is talk of it going, basically to the moon, and that could be 50, 100,000, even more. Who knows? But it also could go to zero too. So it's certainly not what you call a safe haven, but it is speculative. But it is promising, and it's interesting enough. Just today we heard that Paul Tudor Jones is a man that runs a huge hedge fund, and a lot of people take advice from him and what he's investing in and everything else. He's got a $40 billion portfolio that he runs around, and he has just put a significant amount of his investment into Bitcoin just in the last few days, and that's a big thing, because that's like mainstream adopting something that up until probably now has been seen as a lot of people haven't got their head around it, don't understand it, think it's weird, and so most people have been staying away from it. But I think now what you're going to see is, now that he's got into the market, I think you're going to have a lot of other hedge fund people going to follow, because they're going to see it as, well, if Paul's done it, then it must be all right, and we're going to follow. And some people are going to want some of their money in there just as a bit of a insurance, if you like, just in case it does go to the moon. And so it's interesting. So for those of you who want to know all about it and everything else, there is Mike Maloney, who I've done watched a lot of videos from, and he does some good videos out there. He has done Hidden Secrets of Money. I think it's episode 8 is all about Bitcoin and the blockchain technology and how it all works, and it explains it 10 times better than I ever could. So it's also, the good thing about Bitcoin too is it's very, very easy to obtain, to get, not hard at all. There's a bit of a shout out for a company here, I'm not sure if it's New Zealand based or not, but it's called Easy Crypto, and you can obviously put in New Zealand, and you can just basically put a credit card and they will give you Bitcoin sent to your phone. In order to buy Bitcoin, you first must have a wallet. So you need to go on an app store, buy the Bitcoin, not buy, they basically download a Bitcoin wallet for free. And that's like your bank account. And once you have your bank account, then you can buy Bitcoin from somebody else, show them your bank account, and they will deposit the Bitcoin in your bank account. Now just remember that when you do that unlike owning a bank account, like the way we know bank accounts work, is that there's always a third party. They've got your passwords, they've got all that kind of stuff. Bitcoin is not like that at all. The whole reason to have Bitcoin is that you don't have a third person. It is also a secure of wealth, because unlike fiat currencies around the world today, everything's getting printed out of existence. Bitcoin is only ever going to have a maximum of 21 million. So therefore, you're basically guaranteed to have a good hedge against inflation, which is why a lot of people are doing that type of thing. So when you get your wallet, you'll be asked to secure it. Now what that means is that you'll be asked to write down a 12 or 18 or 24, depending on your wallet, word phrase in order with the right spelling. And that's the one that you want to put away somewhere very, very safe. Learn it, put it in your safe, whatever. Just make sure you never lose that. Because if you lose your wallet for whatever reason, your phone gets lost, stolen, whatever, you can recover your wallet and all the money in it by those word phrases. That's your key, if you like, into that wallet. And there's plenty of wallets out there that have been lost because they have lost their keys. So just be very careful of that. You have to make sure you put it somewhere you're never ever going to lose it, forget it, all that kind of stuff. Probably with your will or something like that. It's probably the best place. So, but once you do that, then it's very easy. It's just like any app on the phone that you can transfer funds, blah, blah, blah. And at the moment, obviously originally Bitcoin was still supposed to be a peer-to-peer transaction, which people still use it for that. But I think the more now, what it's used for more now is actually storing your value of your wealth. So what does that actually mean? Because it's a good indication. So it's a bit like saying, if you've got a spare $1,000, for instance, right? In a year's time, will your $1,000 in cash buy the same amount of stuff than it does today? And of course the answer to that is no, because prices are going to go up. Well, prices always do. That's called inflation. That's how the economy works. And that's basically stealing your wealth out of you. So where people are thinking is they're going to put it into Bitcoin, and in a year's time, that $1,000 that they spend in Bitcoin will still be able to buy $1,000 worth of whatever, because the Bitcoin is going to be worth more because of the shortage of scarcity. So that's, and obviously on top of that, if it starts to be in really demand, and then the prices that you see is huge, you can go really up, really high. And of course, also on the other side of that, you have to mention that the prices can drop suddenly as well. So Bitcoin's had about 4 horrendous rises up in its lifetime, but also 4 big falls as well. So if you haven't got a stomach for volatility, and you don't like something that's may go, double in value in 2 months, then halve again a month later, if you can't handle that, don't go into cryptos, because that's what cryptos do. But I think it's a fun thing. It's a great thing to be able to play with, even if you just want to put a few bucks in it. It's not a biggie. You can buy a very small amount. But I think it's the upside is quite huge. It's very new to the market. It's 10 years, but I mean, it's for like mainstream up until now. So now there's probably only less than 0.5% of the world even know about it. So if it catches on, and these hedge fund managers start to put money into it, as they have been, just starting to, then who knows what's going to happen. So I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm just telling you what I do. I've had a lot for a long time, bought it obviously at a good price, which is great, but I'm also buying more at the moment as well. So it's just something to think about. My long-term strategy is always gold and silver. The other ones that I think are going to get me through all this economic situation we've got coming up in the next year or so, and I'm hoping at the other side of that we'll see it. But basically, gold and silver are the 2 biggest assets in the world right now that are so undervalued. It's just ridiculous. They've never been this undervalued pretty much in the history of mankind. So you either got to think, well, they're never going to be ever used again, which is one theory, I guess, or if they are, then the values have to be, and then of course the price of them will go sky high, which is what I'm hoping. But time will tell. You never know. One thing for sure in this life is that we never know what's going to happen. And it's always probably something slightly different, but we can also prepare ourselves and try and keep a little bit ahead of the mainstream, which is a way of actually benefiting ourselves and others as well. All right, so until next time, subscribe, like and share, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.